you're used to sirens and you go to a shelter right away. It means death, bombings. So I was really traumatized by that. It took me a long time to get over all of this.
And where is Suzanne now?
She died. She died years ago. The lady who took care of me is what my mother was talking about. So that's basically the story, but I do want to pass on to the youth anywhere that it was a horrible experience, and whoever you are, wherever you live, you don't want things like that to happen again. So pass the word to your friends, and that's it.
Did you ever know what was going on in the concentration camps that people were getting sent off to?
I didn't, but my parents suspected it. And when my father wrote these letters, even in the beginning of the war, he said, we heard that some people were arrested and taken away to a, quote, destination unknown. At that time, they did not know about concentration camps or the gas chambers, but they knew they were being taken to a bad place. And of course, most of them did not come back. And the whole thing was started, promulgated by a tyrant. And I don't know if you know, Adolf Hitler was the tyrant, the ruler of Germany, and it was his dream to rule the world and to kill all the Jews of the world and as many other non-Aryan types. Aryan meaning white, blonde, whatever humanity there was. And he was, to compare it to today's world, he was probably the equivalent of Saddam Hussein, who was a tyrant, killed lots of people in the Middle East, in Iraq, until he was finally brought down. It's just awful that it took so many years for Hitler to be brought down. But does that answer your question?
Do you remember when you discovered that you were Jewish for the first time?
Yes, I do. It was in 1945. The war had just ended. There was Victory Europe Day, and we were living just on the outskirts of Paris, and my father had purchased 2 books, and he talked to me that I was Jewish. I knew nothing about religion. The only thing I knew was when I lived with that family in the little village, they took me to church. And I just sat there. I didn't know, nobody explained religion or anything. But at the end of the war, my father explained religion. And very slowly, he went over what it meant. And the 2 books he gave me, one was a book on the holiday of Hanukkah, and the other one was a book about the Old Testament biblical stories. And then eventually we went back to Belgium, and my grandfather, my mother's father, who was Orthodox, he taught me about Judaism even more. He taught me a little Hebrew, but he taught me what it meant to be Jewish and some of the traditions and observing the Sabbath. And then, of course, I went to Hebrew school when I came to the United States. I was bar mitzvahed, but it was in 1945, and I was like, not maybe 9 years old.
That's the whole story.
One more thing, we're just going to have...
Anyway, to conclude, Josh, I would very strongly recommend that you and all the viewers of this support the Words of Bond project in whatever way you can. Read my book, there are thousands of Holocaust books, discuss these things of what happened during the war, and the purpose of all that is to stop the atrocities of the Holocaust, and that it should never happen again. So we want you to support the Words of Bond project.
There is I would say, an organization to work not to happen Hitler again.
Right.
Right, that's right. This is it.
Okay, great.
Can he say,
It's not only hoping to prevent the Holocaust again, but it's to emphasize tolerance. Tolerance means being tolerant and accepting people of other religions, other races. Religions could be Muslims, races, blacks, Asians, Latinos, gays, to be tolerant of each other. Think how you would feel if you were treated the way some of them are treated. So tolerance is another lesson to be learned by this, and to be tolerant.
That you accept other people's ideas and behavior. You're not alone, and you have to live with other people which have other ideas and other religion, and that's the main thing of being accepted.
Very well said.